Hey kiddo, haven't talked to you in a while. Uh, Had a thought I wanted to share with you. I think the concept of emotions is really interesting, a little complex, maybe misunderstood. There's a lot of different views, I think, on this topic. Similarly, what it means, what cognition is, what thinking is all about, what consciousness is, and even what a personality is. But my thoughts specifically right now are on emotions. I've always been trying to pin down what exactly emotions are, what they're connected to, what kind of mechanisms they are connected to, and what kind of a role they play in our existence and our experience of life and our consciousness. And surprisingly, I've seen a few explanations that really seem to fit well in my classes and experience in psychology and counseling. But when I've come around to really laying it out like this. Essentially, we have sensory input. Okay, so all of our senses like sight, smell, taste, hearing, and feeling, like touch, and there's that sensory input that comes in. Our cognition perceives it, and then there's an emotional reaction to that perception. So it goes sensory input, perception, emotional reaction, and that's always kind of interconnected and ongoing. There's no real start to finish. You're always going from one moment to the next, still experiencing the emotions from the previous moment, entering in continually to new sensory input, and then continually adjusting your perception based on that stream of input, and then a continual emotional reaction to that perception of the world around you and your circumstances. I think this is important for several reasons, to have a good understanding of what emotions are and what kind of a role they play in our experience. Mainly, I think the better you understand yourself and how your body works, the better able you are to predict and control that, and to keep yourself healthy and safe, and to keep others healthy and safe. Quite simply, there's just that. Also, depending on what you apply that to, professionally or personally, understanding the human experience in that way can give you a lot of advantages in terms of just really knowing how to work with people in a variety of capacities, whether it's clinical or in any other endeavor. I like that definition. I think I largely got that from cognitive psychology or cognitive therapy, in that we have a perception that comes in through our sensory input. We think about that input, and then we react emotionally to what our perception is of the world around us. And again, that's all interconnected and constantly recycling through that process, as we experience consciousness throughout the day and our circumstances around us change. And I think what brought me to this thought was I was just trying to think about what emotions are, and they're referred to as feelings. And I wonder, how are they feelings? Are they sensory input? Are they're the end result of sensory input? So then are they, part of that whole package of feeling the things around you, or sensing rather the things around you in the world, in your situation? I think there's a deeper part of that experience that's a little more complex than just sensory input. So I don't think that they can be just put into that one category, as though that they're just senses or feelings. I think emotions play an important role in your drive. Okay, so you'll have an emotional reaction to your circumstances, but that will drive you to react physiologically in a certain way, and physically in a certain way, and mentally as well. You perceive your situation, you problem solve. The emotions initiate problem solving and action, And then again, that constantly is a circle or a cycle, in that your actions then affect your circumstances, and that just continues through that cycle of perceiving those circumstances, having feelings or emotions about those circumstances, and then again acting and constantly going through that. So just some thoughts. I hope we get to talk about this someday. Love you very much.